It was one of those nights where the rain didn't just fall, it poured like the heavens had decided to empty themselves onto the city. Street lamps glowed dimly through the mist, their light pooling across wet pavement. New York was alive, but quieter than usual, as if even the city itself wanted to stay indoors. Gabriel Westwood didn't mind the rain. In fact, he preferred it. The sound of it drumming against his penthouse windows had always been oddly comforting. But tonight, he wasn't home. He was in the park, holding the tiny hand of the only person who mattered to him anymore, his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. To the world, Gabriel was the billionaire tycoon who owned Westwood Holdings, a man with an intimidating presence and an untouchable life. But to Lily, he was just a daddy. That was all Gabriel cared to be. His wife, Claire, had passed away 3 years ago after a sudden illness, and in that moment, Gabriel's fortune had meant nothing. The man who could buy anything couldn't buy more time. Since then, he'd built his life around Lily. Every business decision, every social event, every late-night meeting, all filtered through one question: will this take me away from my daughter? If the answer was yes, he often walked away. Which was why tonight was supposed to be simple. A late walk in the park after dinner. Just the two of them, splashing in puddles, laughing about how soaked they were getting. Gabriel kept her close, watching her with that protective instinct only a parent knows. Then his phone buzzed. One call. One moment of weakness. He glanced at the screen, an urgent message from his CFO about a pending deal. Just a quick answer, he told himself. Just a second. By the time he looked up, Lily was gone. Lily. His voice was steady at first, but the cold hand of panic gripped tighter with every second she didn't answer. Lily. He began moving faster, scanning the park, his expensive shoes splashing through muddy puddles. People say billionaires have no fears. They're wrong. This was the most afraid Gabriel had ever been. Then, through the sheets of rain, he saw her. His little girl, her pink raincoat bright against the gray world. And beside her, a woman. She wasn't dressed for the weather, no umbrella, no coat thick enough to stop the cold. Her hair clung to her face, raindrops rolling down her cheeks, but there was something in her expression that stopped Gabriel in his tracks. She was kneeling, speaking softly to Lily. And Lily looked calm. When Gabriel reached them, he pulled Lily into his arms so tightly she squealed. "Daddy, you're squishing me," she laughed, but Gabriel's arms didn't loosen. "You scared me half to death," he whispered, kissing her wet hair. The woman stood slowly, giving him a small smile. "She told me she was looking for the man who calls her his world," the stranger said softly. "I figured I should help her find him." Those words stayed with Gabriel. "Thank you," he said, his voice rougher than he intended. "I don't know what I would have done." The woman just nodded. "It's all right. Just keep her close." And then, she turned as if to leave. "Wait," Gabriel called after her. "Your name?" She paused. "Anna." And with that, she walked into the rain. The next day, Gabriel couldn't get her out of his mind. It wasn't just that she'd found Lily, there was something in the way she'd looked at his daughter, like she understood what it meant to lose someone. That kind of empathy wasn't common. A week later, fate intervened. Gabriel was visiting a local coffee shop. Not one of the sleek corporate chains he usually frequented, but a quiet little corner place near Lily's school. And there she was. Anna. This time, he learned more. She was a nurse, but had lost her job after taking unpaid leave to care for her terminally ill mother. Since then, she'd been doing odd jobs, barely making rent. She didn't tell him this with bitterness, in fact, she smiled when she spoke of her mother. "She used to say people are like candles," Anna said. "We burn brightest when we give light to others." Gabriel found himself staying longer than planned, listening to her talk. He hadn't done that in years, just sat with someone without thinking about deals, mergers, or deadlines. Soon, Anna became part of their lives. At first, it was small things, running into her at the park, grabbing coffee. Then she began spending time with Lily, reading to her, baking with her, helping her with school projects. Lily adored her, and Gabriel found himself trusting her. That was rare for him. But not everyone was happy about it. When a gossip magazine snapped a photo of them together, the headline twisted the story: "Billionaire's new mystery woman, is she after his fortune?" Investors began calling. His lawyer suggested he distance himself. His assistant even implied Anna could be a liability. Gabriel almost listened. Almost. But one night, after a particularly harsh call from a board member, Gabriel walked into the kitchen and found Anna and Lily baking cookies. Lily's cheeks were dusted with flour, and Anna was laughing as she tried to keep the dough from sticking to her hands. That image, simple, warm, real, was worth more than his company's approval. The backlash got worse before it got better. Anna received nasty messages online. She told Gabriel she could handle it, but he saw the hurt in her eyes. He offered to fix it with money or lawyers, but she shook her head. "I don't want you to fix me, Gabriel," she said quietly. "I just want you to see me." It was then Gabriel realized, Anna didn't want anything from